one more question that we should probably answer. JD, how do you and Bobby relate? I don't know if you mean by like how do we like get along, or like how are we like we're just friends. Like we're not related.
How do we get along? I hate this sumbitch.
No, we're buds. This fucking mass hole over here. No, we're just friends, man. We hang out and we play video games and shit.
We started off in another group.
We did.
That we both broke off from because I think we both just realized that we had another direction that we could go in and thought it would work. I think it would just work. It would work better. So yes. we broke off from that group and just kind of started our well, we both had separate channels, and then we joined this group, and that's how we met. And then we realized that we could, if we did our own show. We had a lot of chemistry. If we did our own show, it would just we could have, it would just work. We could just work well if we the chemistry was there to do our own show. So we just did our own show.
I-90 Sports Podcast. It's a beautiful thing. But yeah, that's how we relate. We're just buddies and we love sports and we have a lot to say about each other's cities and each other's teams, and it makes for a good podcast, I think. So with you guys make it even better for sure. You guys are awesome.
I think it works too because I get the outsider perspective on the Boston sports, and then you get the outsider perspective on the Chicago sports, and then we both bring knowledge from our teams. Because getting an outsider, to me, like how people look at the Pats outside of the organization is always curious. Because I know how we look at them here,
Yeah, right.
But it's curious. It's good to know how what's the heartbeat of the rest of what do the rest of the people look at of a team from the outside. I've always kind of been interested in how the national media looks like. How did the national media look at, or fan bases outside of my own look at my teams?
Yeah, it's always interesting. And also we both, I think another reason why we really wanted to start a podcast, I just remember this too, is that both of us are really sick of ESPN, Fox Sports, and just all this, especially like I complain about it all the time. I literally can't even watch it anymore. I cannot watch Colin Cowherd anymore. The only one I can watch is Pat McAfee. That's the only person that's like big that I can watch. So me and him are just like, well, we talk about sports with each other more than we even watch ESPN. So why don't we just make a podcast? We'd be playing Call of Duty for like 5 hours and just talk about sports for like 3 of those hours, man. It's crazy. So we love to do it. It's fun, and we got a lot of love for each other, and it's fun. It's just fun. That's how we relate. He says it's fucking gold. Thank you, Rick. You guys are fucking gold.
But it's just like you were saying, like it's just natural. Like we could just, what I mean? Like
we're raw.
Well, there's no like agenda behind it. It's just we give you guys like we did with the articles today. We bring you an article, we read the article, we give our points of view on it, and then we give we relay our points of view on what the article was, because a lot of these articles have hidden agendas behind, I think a lot of these articles have hidden agendas behind it, and you kind of have to decipher like what the real facts in them are. And that's part of reading them and then breaking them down and diagnosing what's in them.
Right. And when you have passionate sports fans who really care about their teams, they're going to give you a more honest take than somebody who's trying to get in with the team and has a million like credentials and like ESPN and Fox. Like a lot of times they talk about things that don't matter. And we talk about things that bother us about the games that we watch. Like, oh, I love my team, but I wish they'd do X, Y, and Z. That's what we like to talk about. Yeah. The mainstream media is just not as good. There's a lot of good YouTubers.
There's an agenda attached to the mainstream media. Me and you don't have an agenda. We're here to have fun.
We are. That's our agenda. Our agenda is fun, and we have a good time. We're both very busy guys, but we carve out 2 hours a couple times a week if we can. to try to just talk about the world of sports with you guys the way we see it. We're not going to talk about every team. We're not going to talk about every topic, but we want to break down what we love and what we see, and that's where we're at. So honest is the new rule. That's right, man. Honest and good people are the wave of the future, man. This whole sleazy Adam Schefter, I'm not going to tell you everything. That's in the past. We're moving past that. So absolutely.
But yeah, it's just like there's no big major sponsor, but there's no agenda. We just come on here and we read articles, we give, we have the ability to sort and sift through all the bullshit that they put in the article to find like what the real facts in there, like what are they really trying to say here, and what's like just for clickbait stupidness.
Right. What is rage bait? What is clickbait? What is real? And oftentimes, especially with these big companies, you get very little real. And even if me and you did have a sponsor or two, we don't care what the sponsor says. We're still gonna spit our facts. That is what it is. We don't care. If they don't like it, they don't have to be our sponsor. We don't need anybody. So it is what it is.
No, we've always been like that, and that's how it's always gonna be.
Shout out to you, Sleeping Angels. Go Chicago Bear down, baby. See red. Yes, sir. I love that. We got some Chicago fans in here. Woo! I love the Boston fans too. I have massive respect for Boston.
Here's the thing too, right? You have to, other fan bases of other teams that have been through like hell and back and still show up for their teams, and when their teams finally get good and finally are starting to reach potential, you have to have respect for that. You know what I mean? Like there's just certain parts of this country and certain fan bases in parts of this country that just, they show up no matter what, no matter what the record of the team, no matter if it's good or bad, or year in and year out, they just show up.
Absolutely. That's Chicago. That's Boston. Definitely. Some of the most passionate fans in the entire country, the entire world.
Yeah. But there's just certain areas of this country that have certain fan bases that literally are just diehard. Bulls fans are diehard fans. They remember the glory day. You know what I mean? Like Celtic fans are diehard fans. As much as I hate that icky purple and gold, a lot of Laker fans, a lot of them. I want to say 90% of them are diehards. They know, they've been watching since the Magic day. Since a lot of just there's certain areas of the country that just have diehard fan bases, and even if they root for the wrong team, that's not a Boston team, it's still you have to respect it. You have to respect the fandom and how they rep all the time.
We also did sorry, I don't want to get too off track. We also did Brady Watch together. You remember that? That was fun.
We did do that.
We did like 5 episodes.
That's what really
made us want to do it.
Brady Watch, to me, I think, is what really made me and you realize that we could do the whole podcast thing.
Yeah.
Because of how much time we would just spend, we would spend 2 hours 3 times a week just literally just monitoring the Brady situation. That was it. That was all it was just monitoring the Brady situation and diagnosing all these little tweets and all this, dude, we did. We went full Matrix red pill mode on that one.
we were trying to get the lips of, remember Julian Edelman and what was it, Jimmy Fallon and Tom Brady were at a Syracuse game.
Trying to read the lips on what they were saying.
We were like, dude, Julian's saying that. Yeah, we were like, Julian says he's coming back. He says he's coming back. Man, we were all over the place. We were deep down the rabbit hole. That was fun. So yeah, that was when we really liked it.
We went full on like Neo from the Matrix mode in that whole series.
We did.
I really do think that that's what made us realize that we could do the podcast stuff, where we could sit here and talk sports and have, and I mean, to pull back the curtain for you guys a little bit, just to give you a little kind of, we write a script for this. And it's not like a script. It's just, there's just bullet points that we want to get across to all you guys to help the show flow.
Yeah.
Like we write a script every time we do a show. There's always bullet points and a script that go with it because we don't want to miss anything. We don't want to
Right.
miss nothing, and it just helps the show flow better.
It does. Absolutely. It helps it flow better. A lot of shows on YouTube, they just kind of like hop on. All right, guys, here's a few topics, and we're going to talk about them. And it gets all over the place. It's crazy. But Bobby has a good way of kind of like introducing topics. And I try to reel myself back in a little bit. Bobby's really good at keeping the flow going. And we just feed off each other, I think. I think that's what it is. I think we feed off each other a